You're now listening to the Key Witness Media Podcast with Kurt Maggs. Kurt Maggs Radio.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Key Witness Media Podcast, and I'm your host, Kurt Maggs, in the building. What's popping? Just wanted to drop this episode and pay homage, some may say homage, and condolences to two individuals who played a role in my life growing up. And first, I would like to send condolences to the family of Lorenzo Smith. Lorenzo Smith was a guitar player who I used to listen to all the time growing up. He actually had a major influence on me playing the guitar. I always tell a story of first time my mom decided to go to a Pentecostal church, coming from the Baptist church and going to a Pentecostal church. It's a difference like night and day. Pentecostal church has a live band, and you had your guitar, drums, bass, and organ, piano, sometimes keyboards. You may have a couple of people that played horn, and drummers. Have plenty of drummers at that time. And I believe I was 15 going on 16. My mom decided that she wanted to become affiliated with a Pentecostal church. And I tell anybody who wants to get a better understanding of what a Pentecostal church is, you can go on YouTube now, but I used to always send people over to watch the Blues Brothers. And you've seen the church scene that was going on in that movie, the original Blues Brothers. You'll get a good indication of what was going on as far as the Pentecostal churches. I'm going to make this short. Lorenzo Smith was the first guitar player I had ever heard coming out of the Pentecostal churches. And, man, it was just something about his playing, and the people would just move every time he played. And the first time I heard him, I said, man, this guy's really got everybody moving. And it was just certain licks and tunes that he would play that really got the crowd engaged. And the most I had ever seen anybody as far as doing that was people like your Jimi Hendrix and different guitar players, from back in the day that really had a real strong influence. I was a big Roger Troutman fan. And if you listen to a lot of Roger Troutman's projects, you hear guitar playing, that was normally Roger Troutman doing it. But this was the first time I actually got to see and sit in and watch people get really excited and watch the spirit move listening to Lorenzo Smith play the guitar. And it's probably been about a week and a half ago I heard of his passing, and it really shocked me because we were about the same age. I think he may be about 2 years older than me, and he always encouraged me. Even when I didn't understand anything about the guitar. And him and my uncle were both guitar players. And I learned how to actually play is just watching their hands. I would just sit there and watch their hands and where they were putting their fingers on the guitar and how they were actually strumming. And my mom had asked me that I was interested in playing an instrument, and I told her, originally I told her the bass guitar, but after hearing Lorenzo Smith and seeing what he was able to do, and I wanted to be able to have that same effect on a congregation or a crowd and just move the crowd in that such form. And she went and bought me a guitar kit. When I mean by guitar kit, it was a $100 guitar set. It was just a guitar. You got an amp, cord, picks, and a clamp. And man, this thing was so cheap it would come out of tune as I was playing it. But it was just good enough for me to be able to go back. I would watch them go back home and remember where they put their fingers and how they strummed it. And then I would do it until I got to produce the same sound that they did when they were playing. And, of course, later on, you start developing your own style and listening to more and more guitar players. Like I said, I used to listen to Paul Jackson Jr. Paul Jackson Jr. was the one who played on Billie Jean. Of course, you would listen to Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, the late Eddie Van Halen, and just different George Benson and all these different guitar players. So I would just pick up some of the stuff and emulate what they do. Even I'm going to have to throw it in there, Chet Atkins, who was a country guitar player, Roy Clark, who was a country guitar player. I would listen to all of these guys. But Lawrence Smith was the main reason why I decided to get a lead guitar instead of a bass. Like I said, rest in peace, Lawrence. Definitely appreciated your gift, man. You've always played a strong influence on me picking up the guitar and actually learning it. And I hated that I didn't get to talk with you or see you. Man, it's been probably a couple of decades. And I would hear every now and then somebody said, man, Lawrence is still playing. He's still out there playing. And man, I would have been loved to hear you one more time. And just, just one more time, if I could have heard you play, it would have truly been a blessing. Condolences and rest in peace. Also, there was another person that played a very influential part in my life. His name was Pastor Lorenzo Bonds. He was actually my next door neighbor. And condolences to his family, to Sister Bonds, Jana, Brian, and I'm trying to think of the other two kids, Keisha and the baby girl. I can't think of her name. I guess I'm a little bit messed up as far as that. But Pastor Bonds was, I'm gonna go ahead and say he was sort of a mentor. And I'll never forget going over to his house and playing basketball. He had a nephew that came out of Detroit. That's when I got to really learn about how they rocked and rolled up there in Detroit. But he used to lace me up with a lot of information and game. And some of the things that he would talk to us about on the side, we'd be playing basketball, and sometimes the conversations would get real heavy. And he gave us on his thoughts and this and that. And our relationship, as far as being, it was open. It wasn't nothing like he couldn't really talk to me about anything or I couldn't talk to him about something. But I know there was a period in my life that I was getting really heavy into the gangster rap thing and getting involved in a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have. I think this was in my 20s. And I remember telling him, he was asking me how was I doing and everything like that. And I told him, I was like, well, I'm, doing producing now. So he was like, oh, okay. He said, how everything going? I said, well, we got a couple of people that really want to pick us up as far as a label and things like that. I said, but as soon as I get done with all this rap and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and do some gospel stuff too. So he looked at me, he was like, oh, okay. He said, do you think that God really cares if you decide to go ahead and do gospel after you done did all the stuff that you want to do? Now you're going to give God the second time around. And he's the one who blessed you with the gifts and abilities and ear. And he was just going in and going in and going in. So, I mean, it got to the point where I'm like, wow, he is really laying it on me heavy. So he was basically saying, you're not doing God any favors. He got millions of people that he can have them do that for him. He says, it's your choice. After that conversation, that really, every time I went to go do some of the rap stuff, I never really could get focused on it like I was. And people were like, wow, what is really going on, man? It was like you was really heavy into it. I mean, I was playing all the instruments on the songs. And I just kind of just lost the drive and the focus of it. And of course, I just started go back into the gospel and started really getting into jazz and everything at that point in time. So, man, what a loss. Shocked to hear of his passing. Pastor Lorenzo Bonds, I thank you. And just a couple of years ago, I told him that I thanked him and appreciated all those talks and kind of leading me in the right path and making sure he always tried to keep up how I was doing, even though I was no longer in the city. Man, I'm just totally shocked. I'm just totally shocked from the past couple of weeks. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and hopefully I can give you just a regular episode next week. And I'm going to try to make up for not giving you a Kurt Maggs radio show. So all I just want to say, Lauren Smith, Pastor Lorenzo Bonds, you guys played a vital role in my life, and you'll never be forgotten. Peace and God bless. Thank you all.
You're now listening to the Key Witness Media Podcast with Kurt Maggs. Kurt Maggs Radio.